Yo, what's up, guys? Andrew with TrueSafe Garage Door Repair. Quick video. Just wanted to make a conversation around the pricing of garage door springs and how much it typically costs to replace garage door springs. So it's there's a lot of different opinions. I see it from Reddit, and I'm on a Reddit post right now. I see it in the field and everything like that. And so in this video, I wanna give customers sort of an idea of what they're paying for, what springs cost, and kind of all the things that go into the garage door business. So, for example, right now, if you go to my website, you can see I have transparent. I'm very transparent with spring replacement costs, and you see here I says spring replacement $289 to $389. Opener replacement $650 to $800. All right, so here are my prices, and they're just right there. It helps with AI, and also if you're calling me, I want you to know that I'm transparent. I'm not going to come and quote you guys anything crazy. However, I'm actually going to be adjusting my prices, and I'm going to be raising them, and I want to talk about why. And I want to give you guys some food for thought. So those are my prices. If I come out to your garage door right now, I'm charging $389. Let's go to Reddit and see what people are saying. So this guy, Greater Ani, he got his garage door springs replaced, and he was quoted $1,800 for 2 springs. It looks like. So yeah, 2 springs, parts and labor. He got quoted $200. They said the springs they are putting on in are 5-year springs, so at least they are good quality. After the work had been started, I asked my workman why the price was so high, and he said that the price of materials has gone way up over the past 5 years. Now, 5 years ago, it would only have been $500. Just so story or truth? And then he got quoted $4,000 to $40,000 for a garage door, which $40,000 seems crazy. But anyway, I don't do full door installs, so I'm not going to comment on that. But it does seem pretty crazy. So if we go down here, we can see that this person got 2 springs replaced for $350. We keep coming down, and we see this person got quoted $1,500. And then he says he called for a competing quote right in front of him, got quoted for $400. The guy agreed to do it for $400, told him to GTFO. Dude, that is insane. 2 springs, 1 hour, DFW, $320. And let's keep going down. And we see 816 in San Francisco. We see this dude actually replaced his springs for $100 by himself. We see $1,800, $275 in Alabama, $375. Oops, didn't mean to click that. This one was $375 to $500. So you kind of see that the ballpark goes all over the place, and there's a few reasons why this is happening. The first reason is there is companies like this dude that is going to charge. He's going to quote $1,500. And then he's willing to go all the way down to $400. And so I'm assuming this dude probably still making a profit at that $400. And so you get companies like this that they'll come in and they just want to make money. They want to go to the grandma or the grandpa or the person that doesn't know about springs, and they want to rake them through the coals, dude. They want to make as much money as they can and get out. And so it's funny how he said he's willing to go down to $400. Because he knows what he's making. He's like, I'll still make money on that $400. And so this is kind of the bad thing about the garage door repair business is you get people like this that are pretty much committing theft, right? Probably offers no garage door warranty. Who knows if the springs are good quality? Who knows if he puts the right springs on? And so that's the next point that I want to talk about is you get quotes. So for $650, you get quotes all over the map. One thing to keep in mind is, as a small garage door business owner, I have I've gone to people's garage doors and they've had the wrong springs on. And so here's an example. The other day I went to somebody's house and he hit his garage door, so the cables came off. And so his garage door was all crooked. I had to go put the cables back on and reset it. Well, when I got the door down and I got the cables on and reset the springs, I noticed that the door was actually going up by itself. And so I didn't even have to touch the door, but the door would lift up by itself, and actually it would lift up quite like a spring. It's just springing up. And so I told the owner, I was like, hey, whoever put these springs on, they put the wrong size because your garage door is flinging up. And so I was like, hey, dude, if I put this on the garage door opener, which by the way, it's been on that opener, your opener is gonna just get destroyed because the opener is constantly fighting against those springs that want to spring up. So it's like if the opener was a human pushing the door down as the spring's coming up. And so it's the same thing. If the springs aren't enough for the door, the opener is going to wear out faster and very fast, by the way. And so on this job, I went and repaired the springs for him the next day. And I got the right springs on. The door was balanced. I put the opener back on, and we were testing the opener. And the one of the components in the garage door opener, it went out as we were testing it. It fried. And so for a simple job of the cables coming off the door, this customer had to get new springs, and then he actually had to get a new part for his opener. And usually, a lot of the times, he would just have to get a new opener because a lot of companies, they won't replace little small parts in these older garage door openers. It's just not worth it to them. And so when he called that dude may have done the job for $300, $250. Well, that guy just put springs on his door that ruined his opener. And so now he has to get new springs, he has to get new and a new opener. And so now that job's going to be that entire job is going to be over $1,000. And if that dude the first time would have put good quality springs on that actually match his door, then he would have saved money in the long run. He would have saved money. And part of the reason that the cables might have come off too is because the springs were too bouncy for his door. And so when you see a quote that's upwards of $500, if it's from a reputable company, they come in, they look clean, they look sharp, they give you options, they tell you exactly what's going on, they put the right springs on. When the springs are on the door, that they show you the balance of the door, everything like that. Well, you're not just paying for the springs. You're actually paying for the job to get done the right time, the right way, the first time. So that's something to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is that these garage door springs are very dangerous. People get garage door techs that work on garage doors for a living. Sometimes they get hurt, and sometimes they get seriously hurt to the point that they can't do the job anymore because their hands get caught up in the spring and it just destroys it. And so it is a job where your safety is at risk, and you have to be safe and know what you're doing. The next thing is that I want to talk about briefly is the cost of the material. And so what does it cost a garage door company to get a set of springs? Let's just say on the most common residential door. For a company to get garage door springs on your door, it's just for the material, it's probably costing them less than $20. Okay? Probably 20, depending, on things and whatnot, but it's probably costing them $20 to $30 just for the springs. That's it. And so you might think, you're like, wow, well, I just got quoted $800 for springs. Well, what sort of cycles are they put? Are they standard cycles? Are they long-lasting cycles? Is there warranties? That starts adding the price up. But let's say they're standard cycles and you get charged $600, and you're like, dude, it costs them $30. Well, something that you need to realize is you're paying for the person that knows how to do the job and they know how to do it right. That you're paying for high quality springs, hopefully, right? If you have a reputable and safe company. You're also paying for not having to do the job, keeping yourself safe. And something for other companies is you're paying for that person has to pay people to do the job. The company is paying to get the job first. They're paying for marketing to get the lead, the customer. They're paying the gas to get there. They're paying the employee that does the job. Okay, and so now, think about it this way: if you are a garage door company and you're charging $300 for 2 springs, okay. Now let's say if you're a garage door company, you're charging like $700 for 2 springs, okay. But that company that charges $700 for 2 springs, well, maybe they're paying their techs more. Okay, maybe they're offering benefits. Maybe they're offering insurance. Maybe they're buying them lunch, treating them better. Okay, so there's an aspect to when I hear people talk about A1 Garage Door. A1 Garage Door is the biggest garage door company in the nation. They're in 22 states, I believe. They're huge. They do $200 million a year. Well, they charge pretty high compared to everybody else. I don't know if it's the highest, but they charge pretty high. And part of the reasoning behind that is they do the job right every time. They are professional. They offer the best service, okay, and they know that. And they treat their guys very well. They pay their guys really well. It's a great place to work, from what I've heard. So that's something to consider too. If you're a person that's working in the community, like myself, I work in the community. I do other stuff as well. Do you want people that are in your community getting treated terribly, getting paid less? They're working, these garage door companies and techs, they're working like 10-hour, 12-hour days in the Texas heat. They're working hard. So that's something to keep in mind is, yeah, you may want the best price. You might want to save a few $100s here and there, but you might not be saving. That I've had so many times where I go out. Literally last night I went out, one of his springs broke. Well, the spring that broke was the wrong size spring, so I had to put the right size springs on. It's like maybe that wouldn't have happened if he had the right size on. So it's just that, and to an extent, if you're paying a reputable company, more money, then you are actually, in some sense, helping the employee. Depending on the company. So here's another Reddit post. $5.50. I would say that's a good price. That's a good price. You can do it yourself. One thing about doing the actual spring repair yourself is you can absolutely do it. That's how you learn. It's really not that complicated if you find a good YouTube video. And the one thing that's going to be annoying is, depending on how old your spring looks, getting the right size springs. That's going to be kind of annoying, but they can walk you through that. Also getting the springs, depending on where you live. I think Amazon started doing springs, but you can't just go to Home Depot and get springs. You're gonna have to find a spring supplier. And the other part is they are dangerous. So you have to be careful. So you could buy vice grips. You could buy 7/16, 9/16 socket, and then buy the springs and the winding bars and vice grips. I think I said vice grips. And you could do the job. You could learn how to do the job. It might take you an hour or so, but you could do it. And you could save yourself $500. For sure, do it. If that's what you want to do, then do it. And it's something you can do. But there is risk in it, and it's like, most people don't want to do that. So that is something you can do. And if you're like Snoo Macaroons, probably cost you $100. I think the springs on Amazon, actually, I think I looked. Let's just look. I think they're a little bit expensive. So let's just see. Let's see how much it's gonna cost. Let's see how much it's gonna cost someone. Let's see. Let's say it's 207. Let's see, times 22 times 2 garage door torsion spring. Kind of a standard size in Texas, kind of on a cheaper door. So yeah, see what we can do. So look at this. We can get a pair of garage door springs for anywhere from $60 to $127. Let's see, the highest rated one is going to be, it's going to be this one. But they all have pretty high reviews. This is the highest number, I guess, with the highest one. Let's see this. So this comes with 2 garage door torsion springs. It comes with the winding bars. Okay. high precision electrophies. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, maybe gloves, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Um, Black coated for replacement and installation. So this is saying that this is actually a 16,000 cycle spring. Um, and so, your standard is going to be 10,000 cycles. So this is actually even more. And there's some other prices. Oh, it looks like this is used. That's that's pretty suspicious. I would never buy a used spring. That's really weird. Maybe they put it on for training purposes or something and then turn it off. Buy cables for $10. Yeah, and who knows? I have no clue what the quality of these springs are. So who knows? I don't know. It looks like they probably doesn't come with any type of warranty. Please make sure. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, like I said, instead of paying $700, you can pay $130 and do it yourself. If you size your springs and you get the right ones on there, you could do it. You could do it if you're handy, but if you're like most people, it's safer and it's better to call someone out. But anyway, that's a quick video. I probably rambled on way too long, but I just wanted to let people know that spring prices, they might vary. They might be more expensive. One thing though to note is if you call out a company and they come in a beat truck, it's a guy, maybe maybe like me, maybe his shirt looks all rugged and whatnot, doesn't have branding, doesn't have a nice, whatever it is, and he charges you $1,000. He's like, I'll do this 2 springs for $1,000, that should trigger some red flags. But on the other hand, if you have a company that comes out, he looks reputable, looks clean, comes in a wrapped truck, comes in a clean truck or whatever it is, he quotes you, he's like, for standard springs, I do it for $650. I have another option. If you want high cycle springs, we can do it for $800. They're going to last 25 years. We have a 4-year warranty. The Google reviews are good on his Google business profile page. I would say, that's probably a fair price, to be honest. You can get it for cheaper. Absolutely. You can find somebody like me that will do it for a little bit cheaper. Okay, you can do it. But you always run the risk of somebody like me, even though I'm not like that. You can see my Google reviews. Let's see. See my Google reviews here. 63 5-star. I don't have a single. If I go to lowest rating, it's a 5-star review. So yeah, I don't have a single bad review, and that's something to look at. I would really look at, does the business have a Google business profile? If they don't, that might be kind of a red flag. That's a red flag for me. So yeah, what I would do is I would always look at the reviews. Let's see if I type in garage door here near me, and let's see, I would always come down here to this map section, and we have some options to choose from, and always read the reviews, and you can always get multiple quotes. So yeah, so my main point of this whole rant is that it's not always the most cost effective to spend less money. It's not always the case, and it could end up screwing you down the road, and also, I would say you're getting charged $650 for springs. Anywhere, honestly, if you're getting charged anywhere from $400 to even close to $800, I would say that that's a fair price. So anyway, my name's Andrew. I run TrueSafe Garage Door Repair out here in Dallas, Texas. I do it. I love it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to go to my website and shoot me a message. I'm always happy. Right now, as a small business, I'm always happy to even help people over the phone, walk people through stuff if they need it. Right now, as I'm growing. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. And if you guys have any questions in the comments, if you guys disagree, feel free to comment and I'll message you guys back.